everyone. Welcome to part 2 of Standing Out from the Crowd in a Job Search. This is Dr. Lepore, and we're going to get a little bit deeper into good jobs, okay, and how to show that you're a match to them. So just to review, what makes a job a good job? So a good job is one where you're good at the work and you know the work helps others, where you find value in what you do. We're looking for a good job that has supportive colleagues, that fits your personal life, meets your basic needs. So what we're looking for when we talk about a good job is a job where we feel purpose in what we do. So this is a diagram. It's, the hierarchy of needs, but let's look at this in terms of our jobs and our work. So a job does have to satisfy your physiological needs. It has to pay you a living wage so that you have food and water and shelter and you have time to rest. Okay? It should give you some sense of security and safety and support you in having relationships that are healthy for you. Okay? When we get to esteem needs, though, this is where you want to start to look at the work you're doing. Do you feel good? Do you feel accomplished by the work you're doing? And finally, this idea of self-actualization or fulfillment, we want to look at whether the job is using our full potential. Now, it's going to take some time to move up this pyramid. When we're first starting out and we need to support ourselves, we are going to be focusing on the lower levels of the pyramid. But as you build your skills and your reputation and your network, you're going to want to start thinking in terms of the higher levels of the pyramid. So let's look at the good job search checklist. Okay? So when you're looking for a job, when you look at a position posting, you want to make sure, does it meet do you meet their minimum requirements? And do they meet your minimum requirements? Do some of the tasks on the list look like something you're going to enjoy? Obviously, you're not going to enjoy everything about a job. Remember, if you have 20% of your job that you truly enjoy, you're doing good. Okay? Does it help others in a way that you care about? Will it give you skills and experience for the next steps in your career journey? Does it pay well enough for you to survive on? And do you have benefits? How about the commute and the hours? Do they fit into your lifestyle? If you have other responsibilities, will you be able to manage both of them? Are there opportunities for growth and development? Is this a temporary type of job or one where you can see yourself staying? And do you like what you see and you read about and hear about the company culture? And this is where networking can be really valuable. Okay. Now, as I'm talking about this, you might be feeling some moments of panic, okay? So I just wanted to reassure you about a few things. You're resilient, and the economy is too, okay? We've been in tough places before. We'll definitely be in tough places again. But things do change, and things get better. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on jobs or job searching, because jobs exist. And what we're seeing, even now in the midst of COVID, is that new jobs are being created. You want to be open to change and watch the trends and see where you can fit into them. I mean, when I started my career, the World Wide Web was a thought. Okay? If you think about it, the World Wide Web, the internet that we use, was spec'd out in 1993. I graduated from college a few years later and found myself teaching technology. And I just happened to be positioned in the right place at the right time to teach web technology because it was a new thing. So watch for trends and be open to change. If I had been closed to change, when they handed me a box and say, hey, somebody gave us this and they want us to learn it and write a book about it, I would have handed the box back, but instead I said, sure, I can do this. I took it home. I installed it on my computer. It asked for my credit card. And suddenly I was on the internet and my whole life changed just by taking that box. It happened to have a ship anchor, a ship steering wheel on it because it was Netscape Navigator. So be open to that. Keep your networking going. Okay? Connecting with others will make you feel better. It makes you feel connected and hopeful and see that there is more coming down the road. It's not just this minute, it's the long game. This is going to fill our whole lifetime. Okay? Remember that you can learn from any job. Well, I'm not saying aim low to start. Just remember that no matter what you do, it's not going to be a waste. It's part of your career story. Okay? And you're going to take something from it. The idea is not to get stuck. Stuck means that you don't have any options. Any job that you have that you are happy and fulfilled and pays your bills is a success. Okay? Being stuck though means that you can't leave when you want to. Okay? So my goal is for you to learn from every job, take care of yourself, but not to feel like you can't leave a job, to always have your options. It's one of the reasons we come to college. Okay? And remember, the first job you get is not the last job you will have. Okay? We not only will change jobs, but we will change careers in our lifetime. And that's sort of scary and sort of exciting. So let's move on to resumes. What makes a resume good? Well, it'd be nice if I could hand you a form and say, fill out this resume form. We have templates, but that doesn't always work. Okay? Because each of us is unique and needs to be able to tell the world about us. So a resume's job is to convince an employer that you're a good fit. Okay? You want to make sure that it's showing your values and your accomplishments, right? That it talks about the problems you've worked on, the actions you've taken, and the results that you have demonstrated. Okay? And a resume is able to convince, not only introduce you, but convince them that you understand and fit into their work. Okay? So a resume is a living document. It's something that you not only change when life changes, but you will change when you apply to jobs. And this can be exhausting. So this is why we want you to start thinking carefully about what you want to do and where you want to work. Okay? So you're going to start by, you'll probably have a skeleton, or you should have your skeleton ready of your resume. But what you want to do now is when you look at a job posting, and I want you to start looking, if you haven't already, I want you to look for the big picture. What's the employer trying to do? Why are they doing it? Who are they doing this for? And what kind of person do they want? I want you to analyze the details. What skills and experience are required? Remember, it's okay to stretch. You might not have everything. If you've got 70% of the skills and experience, go for it. The most they can do is say no, okay, and not ever answer you. But analyze the details. Know what they want. Know where they're putting the priority. And look at the language that they're using. And then return to the big picture. Make sure that you're clear on what you're applying for. Okay? So I want you to look at your resume, and I want you to pick a job that you're interested in. Once you have the job in front of you, I want you to identify what makes an ideal candidate. Okay? There are lots of resumes up on our website. I want you to do a scan of resumes. And I want you to look at the impression. What do you think of them? And then look at the rubric. Right? So this is all posted on our website. Right? And then I want you to discuss it with someone else. Now you can do this with your own resume too. You could take your resume out. You could look at a job description. Look at your resume afterwards and say, if this wasn't me, what am I seeing here? And then evaluate your own resume and discuss it with someone else who's ahead of you on their career journey. If you're looking at this screen right now, right, going back to this job postings things, notice that this pretty picture is filled with words. It's not just art. Okay? One of the things that we can do to help us analyze job postings is put them into word art. And what happens is in word art, the words that are most commonly used are going to be highlighted. So when this this job posting was put into word art, you'll notice that responsible pops up pretty big, which tells you that that was repetitive. It's repeated in the ad. You'll also notice that design is in there. Okay? June is in there. These are the words that they have used over and over. And you can do this for any job. Okay? And you can make them look pretty like this too. Okay? Or you could just use a basic shape. But you'll notice for this ad, for another ad, marketing pops up, students pops up, art pops up. Okay? This is the language you're going to want to use in your resume and in your cover letter. Okay? Here's another one. Looks like a coffee cup, okay, or a teacup. You'll notice that Photoshop came up, marketing comes up, students comes up. So something in these ads, and this ad specifically, is triggering the art to show us the word students very large. Maybe it was an internship ad, but this is a trick that you can use. Okay? And we're going to play with that in the class. So let's review. Some things to know about a resume. A good resume is easy to read. It's not crowded and it doesn't have typos. People are not forgiving of typos on resumes. It needs to be organized. For us, we want to start with our college education because we're still in school. And we want to go in reverse chronological order, meaning the most recent first, going backwards to the most in the past. So for me, I would start off with my education at the top, my Rutgers degree right up there. And then what I would do is I would start with the position I have now, and then the position I had before this, and then the one before that. I want to make sure that I'm working from an evidence base. I want to have my PAR and STAR statements, and I want to show what I've accomplished, okay, in my classes and in my jobs and internships. Okay, I don't want to showcase that I'm a student, but if I've written a program or designed a flyer or written a report, I want to highlight them. Okay, and I want to make sure that I'm using the same type of words and language that the employer is using. And this is where looking through many job ads is helpful because you get to know the vocabulary of your field. So how are you going to show an employer that you're the ideal candidate? Well, you're going to think creatively about your skills and experience. You're going to make sure that you know your resume well enough that you can take the one that you have and you can customize it where you need to. Then you're going to write a compelling cover letter. Okay? You want to think of your tools as you get through this, your elevator pitch, cover letter, resume, LinkedIn profile, other social media, which means you may want to go evaluate the social media you use and make sure you're okay with an employer finding you. And you want to have an approach ready for your interview. Think about the things, how people would describe you. Are you a sincere person? Are you a passionate person? Are you a quiet, reflective person? Okay? You want to make sure you know who you are, and then you want to make sure you're highlighting skills and interests that the employer cares about. Okay? So it's kind of customization every time. You can't write your resume and cover letter once and send it out 50 times. You're not going to get a response. You're going to want to think of every time you send it as a pitch. Okay? Remember to think creatively, reflect, articulate, translate, and evaluate when you're talking about your skills and experience. Okay? So I'm going to stop here and pick up in the next video where we're going to talk about how we can translate our skills.